Hi, welcome to Business Influencers. My name is Chris Salem, your host. You found us here at TALRadio.org. Again, if you are new, again, we hope that you're enjoying the weekly shows that we put on here at TAL Radio. And we also encourage you to take advantage also of the other shows that air on here each and every day on this platform. Just a great content. And again, we are so excited that you are here. And again, if there is any content that you would like to hear on a future show of Business Influencers, feel free to reach out to us here at Chris@ChristopherSalem.com. That's Chris@ChristopherSalem.com. And also make sure to follow us on Apple, Spotify, and our YouTube channel under Business Influencers at TAL Radio. And TAL is an acronym for Touch a Life Foundation. This is where this platform has been built upon, which is a philanthropic organization consisting of tech professionals around the world that want to give back to help out worthy causes such as your nonprofit. So again, you'd like to find out more information about TAL or Touch a Life Foundation, you can do so at talradio.org. So with that being said, we got a great show for you today. But before we introduce our guest and the topic, again, our show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct, a new social media community platform, bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to rekindle old relationships. If you like to, use a site that requires, again, no notifications, no more people trying to spam you and sharing content that doesn't interest you, well, you're in the right place. If you'd like more information about how alumnidirect.com works, feel free to reach out to them at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, today's show is we're going to be talking about turning your business into a fortress. Why cybersecurity is not something that should be on the back burner. It should be one of the things in the forefront of any business, regardless of size, even though we'll be focusing more on SMBs today. But regardless, it doesn't matter if you're Fortune 500, 1,000, or just starting out. This is an important thing, especially in the world of technology with the involvement in AI and the importance of data, why you have to have this as part of your strategy. And we're going to be here with René-Sylvain Bédard. He is I'm going to give you a background about him. He has 30 years experience as a technical architect, is the founder and CEO of Indominus. His work spans consulting firms, governments, telecommunications, aerospace, and SMEs. As a Microsoft partner for over 20 years, he has built strong relationships and received expert training, allowing him to position Indominus as a leader in consulting, AI, and managed security services. In 2024, his Sacred highly commended the second place in the Best Technology Speaker category at the Speaker Awards in London. And within a few months, Indominus Managed Security was nominated to Best Tech Company by the Canadian SME magazine. In September, he also published his new book, which we're going to talk a little bit about, called Secure. It's also a French version. You'll be hearing more about that here. And under his leadership, Indominus is committed to fighting cybercrime globally using innovative technologies and approaches to protect organizations and individuals. Driven by a passion for helping others and creating a safer world, René is confident that Indominus' expertise will shape the future free from cybercrime. With unwavering commitment to excellence and determination to eradicate cybercrime, he is ready to lead Indominus and its partners towards a safer future. And without further ado, we welcome René-Sylvain Bédard to the show. René, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thanks for the invite. It's appreciated.
Thank you so much for being here. I guess before we start, people have heard, the term cybersecurity, and, it's not something that it's new. It's, that name's been around, but, it's really more important than ever. If you could kind of paint a picture of, where it is right now, where businesses are vulnerable, where that maybe, for instance, they're not really thinking that, this couldn't happen to me. Why, again, cybersecurity is more important than ever for any business as it moves forward.
So as the landscape is shifting towards more and more digital services, all we can say is that the threat is becoming more and more pressing. A good example is 2 years ago in France, they made an actual study to everyone who had been known to be touched by cybersecurity in the SMB space. The numbers were staggering. It was 87%. And that was 2 years ago. Since then, twice have the number of attacks doubled. So to make this clear, I have this user who calls me not even 48 hours ago and says, well, I haven't had any issues for 13 years. I thought I was safe. And I've explained to her, you weren't safe. You were lucky. It's different. You were never safe. I mean, the environment was never secured. The configuration were never reviewed. You never put in place tools to keep you safe. So you weren't safe. You were just lucky. And that's what most people run on these days. They run on luck. The cyber criminals these days no longer do targeted attacks. They fish with dynamite. They throw 500, a million emails out there, and it's whoever clicks the bait. And they become potential targets. And they can then take weeks or months to actually look into your environment, see what has value, see how much money is in your account, gain access, escalate their privileges, until one day they just say, boom, it's today. And that day your company stops. So all those reasons is why we at Indominus decided to turn around and actually prevent this bullying that's happening from cyber criminals to SME.
Well, I think it's high. I mean, bullying is a real thing. A lot of times, like you said, people hear it when you're growing up. Maybe in high school you were bullied. People get bullied in the workplace. That type of thing. But we're getting bullied each and every day in our businesses, and how people can steal our data. They can steal money. They can steal certain process secrets. Of whatever business that we're in. We're so vulnerable.
Here's a great example. Do you believe that a cow should be protected?
A cow's
data.
Yeah. I mean, I know in India, they believe in that, right? The cow is protected.
So right here, I'm at an ag tech fair.
Yeah.
And I meet this entrepreneur who says, thanks to our technology and IoT, we can now have a 2-man farm have and take care of 1,000 cows. Mm-hmm. And so I ask him, so those are robots that are taking care taking the milk and everything. And I say, are the links to the cloud, are they protected? And he goes, no, it's non-critical data. So it doesn't have to be protected. So basically, if I'm an hacker, I can turn around, go through that non-protected link and just stop all robots at once, and then just wait 4 days and send a ransom demand and say, guess what? In 4 days, your cows are going to start stopping giving milk. Give me $1 million. And that's the idea. I mean, sometimes it's simply to disrupt. If you stop the system in an hotel, you don't have to turn around and be very elaborated as an attack, but you're going to cost millions of dollars a day, So that logic has to come and actually impact the imagination of business owners, and also they need to know that at the end of the day, the board and the owners are responsible. They will be held accountable for a lack in cybersecurity. So if data gets stolen, they will be sued. I mean, that's how it's going to go. And so reputation-wise, money-wise, profit-wise, everything goes out the window. The day you get a full cyber attack, money stops coming in. You can't invoice, you can't hire, you can't have your people bill on projects. You can't produce whatever you produce because everything is stopped. And that's what we want to avoid. That's why we're here into prevention mode. And that's why we want to take the owners who actually might fear the term cybersecurity and turn it into power. How we do that? We do that by educating and learning. And that's why I wrote the book.
Well, I love that. And I know, in this period of time that we have, I'd love you to kind of share this process that you go through with business owners and leaders that are tasked with, looking in, hopefully in a proactive way, why cybersecurity should become in the forefront of everything they're doing. And it's about from the book Secure, and you have an acronym for it, SECURE. If you could take us through S through E and everything in between and just break those down. I know you can't go into too much length because we only have a half an hour show, but to do our best to kind of connect the dots for the listeners, hearing that today.
So Secure by Design, that's the actual full name of the book in English. The secure model, it stands for survey, educate, construct, unify, review. When you go through it, you can go through it. It has to be that way, right? Those are the way the dots are connected, because you first need to know what you're defending. You need to survey your land, and in that landscape you're creating or you're documenting, you need to know what are your critical data, what are your sensitive data, what's the data and systems you need to stay alive. So if you, for example, if your accounting system, you're using it every day and you have 20 people working in it, and that's the core of your business because you're an accountant, it needs to be properly secured. It cannot be treated just like a web server that's out there online serving web pages. So you need to have that map into your mind as an owner to know where to spend your energy. Then we're going through educate, flipping the thing on its head a bit. I don't want you to train your staff first. To me, that's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. You, as the owner, needs to turn around and educate yourself. You need to be able to know what you're talking about, but you also need to inspire your teams. You have to be interested in cybersecurity. You have to be vested in a mission to protect your company, and then bring in your management team with you so that they will also feel empowered by cybersecurity,
Yes.
but also will start knowing more and more about cybersecurity and feel more comfortable with the subject. At one point, this needs to become part of your KPIs. You need to be able to measure what's happening in cybersecurity. And at that point only do I want you to train your staff, because by then your entire staff will have heard about cybersecurity. They will know that it's important for management, and they will know that you, as their role model, are interested and are invested in cybersecurity. Therefore, everyone will go through it and evolve. Now that everybody knows about cybersecurity, at least has the concept and understand that, their paycheck is kind of linked to that concept, because if you have a cyber attack, you might not have a paycheck anymore, then you need to start constructing. You've surveyed the land, you've educated yourself, you know how to build this now, you have what needs to be built. Fine, let's go forward, create the blueprints, and actually, print out that environment into yours, basically. And we need to build them in a certain order. I've kept this order in the book fairly simple, but the idea is that you start by creating what I call a monitoring command center. That's where all your cybersecurity data is going to go. And then you actually activate the various modules. I gave the example in another podcast about the EDR. What's an EDR? Most people look at me with a big question mark on their face. Consider this a smoke detector for your phone or for your tablet. So that way, if anything happens in those devices, the monitoring alarm system says something's wrong over there, go and see. And that stops those devices from becoming the epicenter of what could become a catastrophe. Next step, we're into unifying. Unifying is about taking that plan and that new cybersecurity process and structure that you've taken and bring them into people, process, and technology, but also ecosystem. People, process, and technology, I think everybody understands, but the ecosystem is who are your partners that want to have access to your environment, and are they secure? Because if you do all this work and you give the key to your neighbor and your neighbor is not secure, guess what? Your environment's no longer secure because there's a keyhole right there. That needs to be taken care of. And that's when you unify your environment into a fully secure cyber culture. Then yearly, you need to review it. Then yearly, you have to do a gap analysis. This is how we configured things. This is how things are today. It changed. We need to bring it back so that it's square and it sits well on everything. But also, you need to have people come and knocking at your door and testing your handles and trying to see if your windows are locked properly. Can they get in? And if they can get in, how do they do it? And how can you fix it? Another point that I make in that environment is the fact that, okay, there are risks. You have identified some risk either through the gap analysis or through your intrusion testing. What do you do with them? Are they classified? Are they high risk, high probability? Are they lowest, low probability? And which one of those risks will you accept to let go? Because I'm telling you right away, you won't be able to fix everything. You don't have enough money. That's fine as long as you know about it, So at that point, stamp, I accept this risk. And there is a registry somewhere that says this risk was accepted by this person on this date. Next. That way, should something happen, go back to the registry log. You know when it was accepted. You might even put a Y there. Might be budget constraint, might be this or that. Or maybe if you do that, for example, stop Excel macros, from executing, perhaps the accountant would want to kill you, for example. But the idea is that the risk is documented. So after that review process every year, you stop your cybersecurity plan and culture from becoming stale. You actually nourish it every year, and it just gets better and better. I also talk about things in that section about having 4 different teams to come in and actually test your environment, because team one might not have seen what team two is going to see. And personally, my team has sometimes passed sixth, as the sixth or seventh security desk, and we found stuff that the others didn't find. So you have to have a fresh eye. You can rotate through those teams, but the idea is not to give everything to the same people because they'll see the same thing, basically. And last but not least is the evolve portion, because nothing in technology is stale and nothing is actually cast in stone. Things change very fast, and they're going to change even faster, especially with AI and quantum that are coming. So what we're saying there is basically, your plan, what you construct. Make sure that all those technologies that are coming up, all those new trends that are rising, make sure that your environment is ready for them. I gave AI as an example earlier in another podcast, and basically it's actually frightening when people have all this data, have all this information, just decide to throw it into AI and don't know sometimes that they have malware and or cyber criminals within their walls. That means that suddenly a cyber criminal that have enough rights could turn around, use your credential as the owner and says, okay, I'd like to know exactly what's the amount of money there is in all the accounts throughout the company. And the AI would actually answer to this total stranger who has nothing to do with the company, just because he stole your identity or he stole your password or he's sitting in the background just watching what's happening on your computer. Those are the type of nightmares that I want to stop. I want to be able to prevent. You talked about earlier about our mission. We have a 10-year mission where we're saying we want to eradicate cybercriminality within the next decade. I won't do this alone, and I won't do this alone as Indominus. But suddenly, all other cyber defenders across the world, they're all playing in my team.
Yeah. You're collaborating. You're like,
heavily.
I guess what's that Marvel movie with all the superheroes?
Yep, exactly.
Sort of like
Infinity Wars is what you're looking for.
Yes. Well, I mean, Renee, that is, it's so powerful and so important what you just shared. And I think the way you articulated it, it doesn't seem overwhelming, even though, initially, but how you broke it down, I can see business owners now saying, hey, I don't have to do this alone. And, there are people like Renee and his company that can help us navigate this and start where we're at, and it doesn't mean that everything has got to be done tomorrow. These are things that, evolve over time. It's a process, just like your acronym's a process.
I compare this to learning any martial art. Mm-hmm. You'll never be good on the first day, but you need to start. And as you progress, you get better and better. Muscle memory kicks in. And muscle memory is also something that you have to practice. You have to do drills. You have to do, some safety tests to make sure, should there be an attack tomorrow? Are we ready? Are this critical data that we mentioned during survey, is it actually safe? Can we actually restore it? Do we have access to backup? All those questions have to be asked.
Yeah. So true. So true. Share with us over the next few minutes, everything that you shared about, to kind of like maybe put it all together, like in a way that if you were to put a business owner at ease or a leader, and just tying it all together to kind of say, okay, you're here, but, in this, maybe in this certain amount of time, you could be here. And by doing that, giving you the, that comfort, knowing that you're protected, hey, it's going to allow you to focus on these things that are important to you.
Yeah. I'll say this.
Yep.
Fear of the unknown is human. So we'll start from there. What the book does is that it gives power back to you as an owner. When we look at what cyber criminals are doing, it's equivalent to what's happened in high schools throughout the country, throughout the world. Really, which is you're small, you have money, I'm big, I have no money, I want your money, I'll take it. Bullying 101. They're doing the exact same thing in the information age. Now, nobody wants to be bullied, and everybody wants to have friends around that will stand up to them and say to the bully, just go away. And so in that same logic, I've built the book to ensure that you would graduate slowly towards a level where you could actually stand up to the bully, but also see them coming and be able to defend yourself against them. In order to do that, what you need to do is basically invest, depending on your business, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and it's part-time. I'm not talking about, taking your business offline for 6 months. Nobody wants to do that. I'm a business owner. I understand that. Understanding that you need to invest a little amount of time daily and delegate some tasks to people. So they'll see that you're interested in cybersecurity. Your management will also see it. Eventually, your entire management team will invest time in cybersecurity. And at that point, you're going to start to see leverage because you will no longer be alone, and you won't be alone understanding what's happening. That means that suddenly your entire team will be collaborating, and then the staff are going to be pushing in the right direction, all rowing forward. So we all, in technology, we're all looking for that hockey stick effect. I'm looking for that hockey stick effect into your cybersecurity score. I want it to go from where it is today, which is probably 5, 6, 10%, and I want it to go right up to 95 or 96, right? Because you need that peace of mind. You don't need to be waking up in the middle of the night because there's an alert. You don't need to be waking up just out of stress because you just had this great project. You've had this great amount of money and you're actually afraid that somebody's going to come and get it. You don't need that extra stress. There's enough stress in building a business. There's enough stress in running a business.
Exactly.
Right? Let's focus on fixing the issue, which is building proper cyber defenses for your business.
Absolutely. No, powerful stuff that what you shared there. And it's so true. I want to make sure that everybody listening here, Renee, reaches out to you. We're going to have all your information, obviously, here in the show notes. But if you could share with the audience and those listening later, what is the best way they can get in contact with you? What are you up to? And anything that you'd like to share or provide the audience here today?
Appreciate it. The easiest way to reach me out is through LinkedIn. So through LinkedIn, you'll basically have access to all of my content, but also be able to reach me directly through contact me. Indominus.ms, so INDOMINUS.ms as in Microsoft. It's our website. There you'll figure out the 3 pillars that we actually do as a business. We've kept this very simple. We do cybersecurity as managed services for small, medium businesses who don't have IT team, who don't have cybersecurity people and want to be secure. We basically take this off your shoulder and we do it for you through a fee per month. Larger enterprise that already have an IT team or already have a cybersecurity group, we do cybersecurity as a project. We have Microsoft expertise. That's our bread and butter. So any cyber defense tools from Microsoft you want to be deployed, we'll actually deploy it for you, then hand you the key and your team can operate it. Last but not least, for business owners and executive, we have cybersecurity as culture, which is basically coaching and supporting you into the secure way.
Awesome. Wow. Well, again, we highly encourage everybody to take advantage of this. Renee is just a wealth of knowledge, great guy. And again, someone I can definitely say is a trusted advisor, and you would be in good hands with cybersecurity and even above and beyond that in your business. So CEOs, business owners, leaders in this particular area, please reach out to Renee. And Renee, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to be with us here today. We greatly appreciate you.
Really appreciate it as well. Thanks a lot for the invite.
Thank you. And listeners, thank you so much each and every week joining us here at Business Influencers. Again, we are committed each and every week bringing subject matter experts like Renee in to share their words of wisdom, most importantly, their personal insights to help move you and your business, including your influence factor, to the next level. Till then, everybody, want to wish everybody a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Take care.